up about something, it can kind of be a good opportunity to let some of that energy transcend into more productive stuff.
Amen, brother. Amen. So I'm fired up. I mean, we could probably hit record unless you already did it, but
Yeah, I got it recording a couple seconds ago.
well, hell yeah. All right. Well, fucking,
Well,
go ahead.
I figured the personal stuff was out of the way, and if we could still harness some of that anger and some of that, fire and brimstone, but minus the personal stuff, then that would be good.
Dude, honestly, it's a perfect. Oh, here, my fucking dog wants to come up on my lap. It's a perfect like segue actually, because this was basically the one and only. I think I had some potential topics percolating a little bit, but this was basically the one thing that I had on my mind to talk about, which is just, dude, I've just been bitching a lot lately. I've been in a bad mood lately.
A little grumpy.
A little grumpy, a little depressed, a little anxious.
Mm-hmm.
Little not feeling great, right? And I feel like maybe part of that is I was sick for a little while. And so then it's like, well, you get out of the habit of exercising, and you know what I mean. But
yeah, it can throw all your systems out of whack, dude. Your immune system gets like kind of fucked, and then it's like all your rhythms are kind of wonky.
Yeah, well, right. And so I'm all fucked up, dude, and just getting frustrated about stuff. And this was this is a funny one though, right? Because it's like, it's one of these things where I'm like, oh, like, Slavs being a real grump, right? But it's like, dude, in any circumstance, this shit would have pissed me off. And I'm not going to go into it, right? Like, whatever, right? But it's just funny. It's like, it's almost like shit just kind of piles up a little bit.
Dude, it absolutely does. That's the one thing about life. It's like once something starts going, it just really starts to snowball. And I don't know if it's like law of attraction or like what kind of like, mumbo jumbo you could say that it is, but things do typically seem to kind of group together. If things are going bad, a bunch of bad things kind of all come at once. But if things are going good, it's kind of the same way. It's really weird how that works. It's like you get into these waves almost, just like straight up and down. But it's like in that rhythm, the things kind of fall into the rhythms. So like it all comes at once and it all goes at once, and it kind of goes like that. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's a fucking pain. It's a fucking pain in the ass, man.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming for sure.
And I think a big part of it is just the changing of the seasons. I got one of my buddies who you met at the wedding. Me and him talk a lot about using. I mean, it's a big topic, but I guess the best way I can simplify it or put it into just a sentence or two is like using the seasons as a theory for just understanding life a little bit.
I mean, right? Of course, dude. Yeah. I'm all about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, and it's a good way of doing it. Right. And like, winter right now, we're kind of just conserving energy. We're holding what we got. We're burning through the stockpiles that we got in the fairer seasons a little bit.
Harvest is over.
Exactly. Right. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like maybe I just didn't quite sow my seeds correctly. I feel like the last couple of weeks of autumn were just me being a little under the weather, And yeah, it's interesting, being a little depressed. Me and the missus fighting a little bit more.
That'll happen.
Last week or so. Yeah, and honestly, like I actually think that like I think that fighting a lot is like cool and good, to be honest.
Yeah, but once you start seeing it like uptick, and it's because like you have your own independent kind of stuff going on, that's usually not the healthy kind of fighting.
And that's the big thing, is that not all fighting is created equal. Is kind of right. And so it's like, it's not good fighting. It's just kind of shitty fighting where everyone's feeling shitty. The good kind of fighting is being like, hey, like let's not be people that just like let this shit fester like a water leak in the walls of your house or something,
Let's address things as they come up instead of just like letting it simmer and then boil over eventually.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? How have you been lately? This is our therapy episode.
Dude, I mean, if we can call it something other than therapy, I'm cool with it. The therapy's kind of gay, so I'm not really in on all that.
This is our psychoanalysis episode. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. This is, I don't fucking know what the fuck this is.
This is just bros hanging out, talking it through, dude.
This is just bros hanging out, talking it through. That's exactly what you like. Go to a therapy session. You're like, hey man, can we just call this like bros hanging out, talking it through?
Yeah, dude. Can we just like crack a beer, maybe? You know, turn the game on.
Can I just like shotgun a high life?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, there's a couple things I'm thinking. Before we get into how I've been doing, I got a couple of things that just kind of sprung to mind when you were talking there.
Yeah.
Because I think that I feel that too. Like, I think that seasonal kind of rhythms are very, very much so a part of life. And like, I think that when spring comes, you know, things are coming back to life, colors popping up everywhere. It's easy to be like really high on the hay and like excited about everything.
High on the hay, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a real saying, but that's what came out just then. Maybe the high cotton
on the hay right now, you goddamn degenerate.
I mean, a little bit, yeah. But well, that's no different than usual. But yeah, dude, it's like spring gets you a little fired up. Summer can kind of like take it out of you a little bit, but it's still good. And then, you know, fall comes around. For me, I like fall a lot, but it is like a wind down time. And when you get into winter, like colors go away, the things around you start dying off. And so it is a downturn. It is literally like a time when like deciduous trees and plants like cut everything back and return back into like their roots basically, and that's where they store all their energy. So it's kind of what you were talking about, like you know, just burning through all your reserves. And you know, just kind of you're getting into that point. And so I think that a lot of people experience downturns in winter, because yeah, I mean it's kind of gloomy out there. Like everything around you is kind of dying off and kind of weeping or wilting or kind of gray and whatnot. So it's hard not to internalize that a little bit, even if it's subconsciously. And then also like you can start to get problems with getting colds and getting sick in the cold, like when it starts getting winter, and that really can be like a real drain as well. But like I think the real frustrating thing with when you get into like a funk and you're kind of depressed and stuff is how easy it is for that to kind of bubble over into the rest of your life, to where it's not just you in the funk, but you start to like kind of maybe bring other people into it by accidentally arguing a little bit more or just kind of being irritable, because you're already kind of like hardwired. I think that's what I like. That's probably what I worry about the most when I get into a funk, is like I get really conscious about, man, I need to make sure I'm not letting this affect the people around me, because it's easy to let it happen. And that's when I notice it the most, is I'll be like, you know, I'll be kind of down on like a little bit of a trough, if you will. And then, you know, something will come up, just a small inconvenience, and I'll just be a little bit more irritable than usual. And I think that's kind of like, I don't know, I think that's maybe the more upsetting thing. And then holidays come around this time too. So it's like people are kind of stressed out, people are kind of worn down, people are a little bit at the end of their wits. And so, yeah, it can be a little bit of a emotional kind of season,
dude. And that, you know, that's another funny thing is we got, you know, so we're hosting this year, right? And which, you know, I mean, here, I want to make sure I'm actually talking into my fucking microphone. I feel like that's a mistake I make frequently.
You're louder now, but you were fine before too.
I'm setting I know, just lay down. It's like the dog's just hitting his head on the microphone a lot. And I'm like, all right, let's just put him in his bed. Let's just put him down.
Shit, don't put him down. I'll save him. I'll rescue him, dude. I'll come up there.
Dude, he's had it coming for far too long.
He got it way too good for way too long.
Exactly. Nah, man, like, you know, we're hosting, first year married, and we're kind of bringing the families together. We're doing a little consolidation. My joke is that I'm instating sweeping reforms in the party.
Yeah, like a clearinghouse coming in.
Yeah, exactly. This is Stalinistic, and dude, everybody's going along with it, but we got the one fucking person who's like, why are we doing it this way? Why are we doing it that way? I want it to be this way. Why does it need to be different? And it's just a fucking pain in the ass, man. And it's just, dude, it's
change is a part of life.
No, exactly, right? And it is what it is, right? And, you know, in the grand scheme, it's like, I mean, I like literally hear myself saying this shit, and it's like, this is a joke. Like, who cares, right? But when you're already feeling down, when you're already kind of got it's like drunk goggles of feeling shitty. Then just like the dumbest, most petty shit can like really get to you, you know. And this is kind of a perfect example of that. And I feel like hosting the holidays is kind of, you know, great for that anyways, or is good for that. But you know, I mean, part of us kind of taking the baton here was kind of, you know, the idea of just being like, all right, we're not gonna fall into the dumb boomer parent thing of just like bitching constantly about the holidays and acting like we're dying on the cross here.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like I was making a little bit of a point about how it can be kind of stressful in the holidays, which you're experiencing, of course, with all this. But there is also, like what you're saying, that kind of like boomer mentality, I think, is a big part of it, where it's like, I don't know if it's because of like culturally it was kind of pushed in movies and stuff too, or if that was just kind of like what was going on a lot, but people just freaking out around the holidays, like, you know, just like, I hate this time of year, it's too busy, like I got too much going on, blah blah, like all this shit. People making it a little bit too hard on themselves.
Dude, I remember going through rehab and I mean, I don't want to be, I guess like me using this example is just like it's an extreme, you know, because it's like it's people in there that are struggling, right? And it can be challenging, right? But just like, I just remember like it would come around to be like the holidays, and it's just like, dude, you just have to listen to all these fucking people just bitch about shit. And it's literally like, maybe the fact that you're like looking at something that's actually like a blessing and a beautiful time of year, to like be around love as like a curse, maybe that's like part of your fucking problem.
Right.
And like, you know, that's a thing I notice a lot. And again, I mean, for people that, you know, for people where it is like a reminder that they don't have family around or something like that, I get it, right? It can be tough, but I mean, you know, the amount of people that actually is you know, accurate for, versus the amount of people that just bitch about it because it's something to do. It's, you know,
right. I think a lot of people just make up fake problems with their family to have too. And then like people also kind of like, I think young people, or maybe not even young people, but millennials specifically, that kind of group, they use it almost like it's like a badge of honor to be like, I hate the holidays and I fucking hate like having to get around my family, and like, man, I just wish we could like just order some shitty Chinese or something. You know what I mean? Like that's something I run into a lot, I feel like. And I think it's like primarily in that age range. I don't know if it's like kids that just grew up on too much grunge in like early 2000s alt rock. It's just like, man, and that's just like what they do in the holidays.
It's
too.
like the cultural legacy of Gen Xers. Yeah. I mean, I think that there's people that are just kind of culturally like that across the board with generations, and I think like, yeah, I don't know. It's I'm tired of it, you know, a little bit. Like it's just kind of like, you know, we're just like the case with us that's going on. It's like it's nothing big, right? It's just like I'm trying to just host something, and it's like I can't do exactly what you want it to be.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't do exactly what everyone wants, because like you got to do what it's going to work, you know? And like if you try to do it for everyone, it won't ever be anything.
Exactly. And I think in the case of, you know, these people that are just like, oh, the holidays, right? Oh, family's so horrible. Right? I mean, I have a family member that's also just like, you know, I just worry if I'm going to be safe kind of thing. One of those, right? Like, and it's just like, dude, like
Wait, because of what, COVID?
No, just literally because they're like an emotionally manipulative woman. And like just like women can just trot out the like, I feel unsafe as like their way of being kind of Machiavellian.
I see. Yeah.
And like but like the culture isn't allowed to like call that what it is. It's like all these people just need to like just be told like, dude, everybody's just kind of doing their best, man. Like
it's good to get together with your family and people fight. Like that's just a classic tradition. You're gonna get together with your extended family. People are gonna get into some kerfuffles, and then you're gonna go home. Yeah,
like I, you know, I don't want it to be anything huge, but yeah, like just get together. People bounce off each other, you know, like We're
Mm-hmm.
just kind of figuring it all out. That's all you can do, right? And it's just like, I don't know, life is hard enough,
Mm-hmm.
you know, creating real serious issues with this stuff, or I don't know. It's just wild, man. It's just wild.
Well, have you decided if y'all are gonna do White Elephant?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
You're
We're
gonna
doing
hell yeah.
White Elephant, which again is, you know, outside the norm for um the traditions, these sacred traditions.
What do y'all typically do? Like a gift swap?
Nobody does shit. Nobody does
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Neither of our families have been in the habit of actually doing anything resembling traditions in
Right.
a number of years. Um, but people kind of act like there is tradition, right? And so
Well, we do
we're
it
doing
this way.
what's that?
Being like, oh, well, we do it this way usually, and you're like,
And
we
it's
haven't
like
done
you don't.
anything usually in 15 years.
No, exactly. You don't do anything at all. You fucking retard.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So I mean, we're doing the White Elephant, you know, and I think that's good. You know, I mean, it's like when you have adult kids, you do the joke
Mm-hmm.
gift giving, right? You don't.
Yeah.
We don't need to. We don't need to. You know, get. We don't need to get Slav a PS5 in front of everybody.
Right.
Slav can buy his own PS5. He did buy his own PS5.
So do y'all set a? Are you gonna set a limit for the gift for White Elephant? So everyone's
25
kind of
bucks.
okay.
25 bucks,
Nice.
which was actually funny because I'm like, man, like with inflation, like is 25 bucks actually going to be
Well, I
adequate?
think that cuts it. I mean, you're
It's
not trying to
gotta
get
be.
someone the best gift of all time. It's just kind of a goof a little bit. It's, it's like a fun thing you're doing. Get something that might be a useful gadget to have around the kitchen or the garage or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not meant to be something major. I think that's a good limit. And even if it's like, even if with inflation it makes it kind of tight, that almost makes it a little bit more fun because you kind of get a little bit more oddball stuff going on. So it makes like the trading and who gets what a little bit more kind of cutthroat and fun.
Yeah, definitely, and I just, you know, it just gives people something to do.
So how about the guy that brings like that goes over the limit? That's all. I feel like that's always a guy. There's always a guy that's like, oh, I just
dude,
didn't know the limit was
dude,
$25.
we had an amazing one of those a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So, oh man, this shit's funny to me. So we had whatchamacallit. We had a White Elephant we did a Christmas in July, which I think is
Hmm.
hilarious, right?
Yeah, that's fun.
And we had somebody show up who literally just like they were working like a retail job, and this is just like a retarded buddy that none of us really hang out with anymore. And he was working a retail job, and some random guy just like came in while he was closing, and this was like the shift before he like left to come over to the party late, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like hey, like I'm just like promoting this like big festival out of town, and I have just like a couple extra tickets here.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna give them to you, and it's like hundreds of dollars. It's like worth like a couple $100,
Yeah.
right? And so he's like, cool, all right, that's that's my White Elephant. And
Hell
so
yeah.
he like shows up and he's like, all right, here's my White Elephant gift. And it's like super expensive. And it's also just one of these things that like nobody wants it because it's awkward because it's really expensive. And
Yeah.
two, nobody knows if they can get the weekend off to go.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like one of the funniest examples that I've experienced.
Did he explain when he came in that he got them from someone at work, or did he like?
It was
Did he
like
just
when
come
you're
in and
in
give
the
them?
huge crowd, it's like kind of, I feel like it was kind of, I don't totally remember, but I feel like it was kind of hard to give the full explanation.
Yeah. People are like,
Uh,
"What is this hotshot doing coming in here with $300 tickets? What the
yeah, like
fuck?
what the fuck are you doing?
We got a screwdriver set. What are we doing?"
Dude, the best one that year was somebody went and got two framed paintings from Goodwill, and one of them was cats playing billiards and
Oh
dogs
yeah.
playing poker.
Hell yeah.
And that one got stolen like the maximum amount of times, like almost instantly.
I like that, dude. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, well, because the dogs playing poker is classic.
Classic. Oh yeah.
Right? But it came with the cats playing billiards, and I really liked that. You know, just like a couple of tabbies smoking cigars. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
Some real alley cats.
Exactly, alley cat. Exactly, right. You get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what it's kind of all about, right? But yeah.
I mean, we're
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
into it now. We're getting into the winter. We're getting into Christmas. We're kind of swinging into it pretty fast. I think the last episode we did was on the free feed, at least, was early November because we've been kind of
yeah.
hitting the Patreon mostly. So
Which
yeah,
makes sense. I mean, I feel good about that because it's like I feel like we have an obligation to the subscribers first.
yeah. I mean, if we have a limited schedule, I feel like it's a priority to get something out to the Patreon for sure. So yeah,
Totally. I'm because I don't love the freeloaders as much.
yeah. I mean, all you freeloaders, get with it. Help us out a
Yeah.
little bit. It's the holiday season. Our boy's stressed and depressed. Maybe help him get something.
I'm actually depressed because not enough people are subscribed.
Yeah, dude. If we had like at least double the amount we have now, I think Slav's like real attitude and everything would just go way up 100%.
Yeah, are you familiar with like Boogie2988, that like fat guy?
I don't think so. Wait, is it a YouTube guy?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Was this a while ago? Like a
I
decade
shouldn't
ago?
even make this joke, but I was just gonna say like I feel like his whole thing was just basically being like, I'm gonna kill myself if anybody makes fun of me online or like doesn't help support me. And I was just gonna be like, I'll
Oh, I
pull a
remember
Boogie.
him.
I'll pull a Boogie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the hot goss right now because
Is
somebody
he?
made somebody made like well, he's not hot, but there's some goss. Somebody made like a fucking documentary about him, and honestly, I don't even know why I was just talking about him because I was going to make a reference, a joke, but this shit is fucking YouTube drama is probably the lowest fucking tier of culture
Yeah.
I can possibly think of. So
Well, at first I thought he was the guy that there was a viral video a long time ago of a guy that danced in like his room and was like Maya he Maya ho.
Dude, you're talking about the
I thought it was that guy.
dance.
Yeah, I thought it was that. When I
Well,
googled, I was like,
no.
oh no, that's not him.
No, but you kind of I mean maybe someone will be like that's to me that's a similar vibe a little bit, but no.
Yeah,
Boogie here, let me just
he looks kind of similar, dude.
Oh,
I'm
did you
looking at
already
the
look it
both of
up?
them side by side. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. No, no, I mean it's like a fat man. It's a fat man. I mean he's morbidly obese.
he's like the Wojak meme, the fat Wojak meme with the glasses. I mean, God bless him. I
mean,
feel bad now. I'm taking that one back.
Dude, the fact is this guy's a fucking piece of shit, so I don't really care, but yeah, no, I mean yeah, I mean fuck it, dude, I don't care. But yeah, dude, fucking Numa. This guy's like a dark universe Numa.
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. He's
Man,
like,
I'm
yeah.
just looking at his just horrible body horror physique.
Oh. Yeah, it's something out of like an 80s horror movie.
Yeah, I don't want to be looking at this shit.
Video drum looking ass, dude.
Video drum as hell, dude.
Meat wallet looking guy. Fucking
He
stomach
has a
stomach
couple-
wallet.
He has a couple meat wallets. Anyways, man. Dude, did you hear that Henry Kissinger died?
Oh, I did, dude. That was the day we actually recorded our last Patreon bonus.
Wait, was it really?
Yeah, I saw the alert like 20 minutes before we recorded, and I thought we could bring it up, but I feel like we were on kind of a jovial kind of vibe, if you will.
Sure. Well, honestly,
Yeah.
the main thing that I'm just gonna say about it is it's like I think that the Henry Kissinger's dead became unfortunately like a cringe Reddit tier dirtbag leftist meme.
Mm-hmm. With the crabs dancing.
Yeah, exactly, right. The African guys dancing with the coffin.
The casket,
Basically, just people making all the same jokes that we did in 2019,
right?
But just never adjusting,
right?
Which it's fine, right? That life has phases. That's all right. But yeah, man, Henry Kissinger's dead. Pour one out to a important figure, I guess.
To a real one, bro.
Yeah, real salty dog, I guess.
An architect of American excellence, bro. Come on,
that's something like that. The architect of the petrodollar.
The Darkitect.
The yeah, dude, it's like this is like the Matrix. He's the architect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Dude,
don't know,
okay.
man. I don't. I mean, do you have any thoughts on it? I mean, I don't. Literally, the deepest my thoughts go is basically just like I'm stoked that I never have to hear the like when is Kissinger gonna die thing. You know, like it's like not surprising that like that happens, and then you see, you know, like cringe YouTubers just like making videos about it because it's like
Mhm.
pretty low grade discourse.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that like everyone's just like hates him universally, and you're like, yeah, he's scum of the earth, the worst guy ever, real sicko. But like, I honestly, and I'm gonna lose some street cred on this probably. I don't have a clue what he did. I know that he
Okay.
was involved with like foreign policy. I think probably a Vietnam War, maybe like
Yes.
that kind of stuff, and like containment policy. But like, I know he's. That's really all I know. I don't know any like specifics, and so I know that like, yeah, all that's not good and all that's bad. So yeah, but he's an old motherfucker. That's why people kept saying, "When is he gonna die?" Because I think he was 100 years old
Yeah.
when he
So
died.
he lived a really long time. You know, Kissinger kind of basically kind of he's I'm trying to like figure out the easiest way to because it's like I'm personally someone who knows the broad strokes, right? But
Right.
basically um really 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 influential as far as like American foreign policy, right? So really kind of set it to what it is, right?
Hmm.
Definitely kind of I think probably had the ear of and manipulated Nixon quite a lot.
Okay.
Um, and like like I said, the move to go off the gold standard and then basically have the
Oh yeah.
USD tied up with the value of gold, or no, sorry, the opposite.
Just fiat.
Not yeah, and go with basically the value that barrels of oil were going for.
Okay.
It's a Kissinger thing, I mean, his legacy is basically just the current state of the Middle East and our connection to it.
Oh, so really horrible.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of really bad shit. Um, you
Yeah, I'm
know,
seeing here his the only sentence I see about him on henryakissinger.com is Henry A. Kissinger was a Secretary of State and respected American scholar who helped create the post-World War II world order. That sounds just very dark and evil. Helped create post-World War II world order. And they're like, yeah, that's his bio.
yeah, well, right, and so the post World War II world order is just American hegemony,
Right, yeah, of
right?
course.
And so yeah, I mean, like honestly, I think like our kind of shtick a little bit of just like I at least speaking for myself, like I think multipolarity is kind of the way of the future. I think that like Western liberal hegemony is kind of one of the biggest things you can point to as far as just like
Bad.
well, yeah, and just like one what's if you have one thing to point to go this is why, right? That's a pretty good one thing to point to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so if you have one guy to point to, he's a pretty good guy to point to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That said, I mean, part of the issue with Kissinger is part of the issue with just all leftoid analysis, which is that no one gives a fuck if you say that Bush did 9/11 anymore, because 9/11 was 22 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck if you say irreverent things about Margaret Thatcher or fucking Henry
Reagan.
Kissinger, because like
Yeah.
these guys haven't really been. I mean, in the case of Kissinger, he was still writing books up until like 2 years ago or
Dude,
something.
I'm seeing his book list and it sounds just demonic, dude.
I mean, no, and this guy is like this guy's prolific, right?
He put out World Order in 2014. He put out Diplomacy in 1994, On
Well,
China 2011, In the
well,
Age of AI.
and listen, man. I mean, you have to just to finish my last point. Basically, just like this is like fake and gay performative edginess. I don't give a fuck if all these people that are like, "Oh, Thatcher's dead," honk if Thatcher's dead. It's like, dude, Thatcher. I don't give who gives a fuck about Margaret Thatcher.
Right.
You know what I mean? Margaret Thatcher isn't, the legacy of Margaret Thatcher is relevant to
Right.
contemporary politics, but like, you know the point I'm making, right? And this is the whole thing, is that the political analysis and just icons of I guess iconoclasm that fucking normies and Redditoids use always needs to be at least like 2 decades behind.
Yeah.
Or else they actually like risk, you know, pointing to the actual focal points of power that exist today, which, you know, fucking
the Sean P.
spoiler alert.
McCarthy vibe, dude.
Well, wait, what was that?
I said that Sean P. McCarthy type shit, dude.
Dude, I feel I haven't been super on Twitter lately, but I feel like the last times that I had been seeing Sean, it wasn't quite as bad. But
no, I mean, God bless him. He's a good guy, but he was just like, I mean, I guess I have no idea anything about him, but but he was just always talking about like, yeah, fucking, let's look into the Kennedy assassination. Yeah, dude, let's fucking look into the goddamn COVID crisis. Actually, something that's happening right now, dipshit.
No, exactly, yeah. and it's like I almost feel for him a little bit, because it's just like, dude, you're not gonna look into COVID. You're not gonna look into the election, right? I mean, I remember that was a whole thing with TrueAnon, where they recorded an episode about the Hunter Biden laptop, and then they released it like a week after the election, even though they recorded it like a month before.
Oh wow.
And it was just because, like, no, they have a bunch of like retarded little leftoid PMC listeners, and it sucks, because it's like, dude, their hands are kind of tied at a certain point, because they're raking in a lot of fucking money, man. Yeah. But they're not raking in that much money, and they're not raking in money in a way that's like super secure, right? They're like a rape allegation and a half away from just like needing to work in a coffee shop again.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that sucks. That's like, and also if you think about it, like, that's fucking crazy. And so I like feel bad about it. Right. But yeah, I mean, it totally, no, honestly, it was a perfect example you used there. Right.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to bring him up and get like gossipy or whatever, but that's just what came to my head immediately.
No, I just like to get into the gossip a little bit about it. I always just feel a little bit bad, because it was just like, that was a fight between him and Amy, and anymore it's just like, dude, it's like, if it's a toss up between one of these two, like, I'm going with anybody else besides her, you know. But
yeah.
But I mean, she's almost the exact opposite, where it's just like, it's just like cutting your fucking nose off to spite your face, right? Like, you just need to say, well, whatever. I mean, that's the feedback loop that informs the worst aspects of the right, is just needing to, you just spiral and spiral and spiral until you just become antithetical to just basic decency.
Yes.
And you tell yourself, I mean, I have family members that are right wing, and it's really unhealthy for them to culturally identify too heavily with this these days, because they've always had a hard time relating with people, and they've always kind of had a little bit of an outsider complex, a little bit, right? Sure. And like, what ends up happening is that they're really hopped up on their favorite little TV show, which is the dissident right? And now they have a new way of contextualizing and expressing what's actually always been with them, which isn't a new thing since 2016, which is just the fact that there are people that have a hard time relating with other people.
Yeah.
Right. But now they put it in the context of a global fucking conspiracy. Right.
Yeah.
Where, like, I agree with them on a lot of fucking things. And honestly, a similar thing, I was talking to somebody about this recently. Being a fucking leftoid is now just like this it's a similar thing, except it's now just a way of being the popular clique, and just like abusing people for just like basically not fitting in with the crowd.
Yeah.
Right. And like, oh, like, having a normal one. You don't want to get vaccinated. Oh my gosh, you disagree about so and so and so and so having a real normal one, well adjusted much. And it's like, dude, like, you're just a little fucking bully, dude. You're just a
Yeah.
little shitty bully. And like, you know what I mean? But it's almost like these perfect opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Well, the thing is, it also becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy where you're like, okay, well, I'm someone who's always had a hard time relating with others. Maybe I've always
Yeah,
kind of been a bit
especially
of an
about the outsider
outsider.
thing.
And then you're like, okay, well, I live in a really blue place, and now I'm going to be, a dissident right, and like it's going to create more barriers to connecting with others in that area. And then you can be like, well, it's because of this thing, and politicize it. And the same thing with the other end of things too, where it's like, you're doing it because you want to join this cool club or whatever, and finally get validation for when you weren't a part of the cool kids table when you were a twerp or whatever. But
Which
instead
totally
now,
describes all of these fucking leftoids, by the way.
right, 100%. But now you're like, I'm gonna get the power back, and I'm gonna be able to deride you on social media or whatever, and this weird shit. But
I'm just
that
gonna
also is
destroy your life
isolating.
now.
Right, yeah, but that's also cutting people off from you, and you like are gonna also be the people who self-isolated super hard during COVID and all that bullshit. So like there are these self-fulfilling prophecies that these people get locked into a little bit
Well,
when it's
I
like
think a big
leaning
part of
into
it is
that.
being the one who has the power to make severance, right? Like being the person who has the power to be like, no, I'm actively rejecting you. You're not
Yes.
rejecting me. I want to
Yeah.
be in that position, right? And like you look at all these, like, dude, fucking just creepy ass, weird, fucking effeminate dudes and polycules and fat women with social anxiety who have like somehow managed to make smoking weed fucking dorky. Like these
You mean
people,
Seth
like,
Rogen?
no, I mean like our HR managers. Well,
Yeah, I
thankfully I
know, I
don't
know.
have an HR manager, but I like made a trans joke to my boss the other day, and it's just
Oh,
like,
nice,
haha,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
I was talking about how the vaccine was bullshit with I found out the other day that my boss and my other coworker they didn't get vaccinated either. And I was
whoa,
like,
wait, is your
whoa,
boss being
hell yeah.
legit now, or is this a new boss?
It's the same boss, but like he just wasn't in on the COVID thing, I guess. He was
Dude,
still worried
hell yeah.
about Ukraine, but like, I think that's just coming from a good-hearted empathy
Dude,
place. Like
whatever,
I
dude.
don't
He's just a little fucking tarted up. That's
it
all
just kind
right.
of twists it up, and like, he's like
Dude, he's
a
just a little
40-something-year-old
twisted.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a little twisted.
Little
Um,
sicko. Sicko
dude,
mode.
he's got a lot of problems. Real sick individual.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was fucking saying, man. But
Well, you were
no, no, no,
talking
no, no.
about
These people are fucking losers. These people are fucking losers.
they're
Um,
sick, some people might would say.
they're sickos, but more importantly, they're fucking sick losers. And so having the power to be like, no, I reject you, is like really important. Is like really, really
Yes.
important. And I have to point out, and this doesn't really totally nest in the point I'm making, but it also just is important. Like these social shaming strategies that are used are like really feminine.
I mean, all most of that social kind of shit in the social sphere is like generally feminine coded, if you will.
I mean,
But
I think that like the outsider thing is less so.
well, yeah, that's like a man going his own way, dude.
Do a MGTOW dog.
MGTOW, baby. Yeah.
But yeah, man. So that's, I don't know,
Hero's
man.
journey, bro.
Yeah, fuck the whole thing, man. I like, yeah.
Well, dude, here's the thing. You gotta embrace like where
What's the
people
thing?
are similar instead of where people are different, and that's just really where it comes down to. And I think that's just what you gotta try to do across the board in all scenarios. And it's so like intoxicating to, especially when you're someone who feels like an outsider or whatever. It's so intoxicating to be able to like be like, well, this is exactly why, and this is like, really focus in on like the things that separate other people and you from them or whatever. But really that's just the wrong mode of thinking, and it's just the case across all politics. Like, and so being all the way one way or another, being super like cut on what's keeping you apart from other people and what's the thing that's driving society against you, that's just a kind of a failing way to look at life. Like, it's just not a healthy and adjusted way to just deal in a way that's going to make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're kind of setting yourself up for just more failure like that. And it's like I think everything now is just kind of trying to push you into that corner where you feel that way, like with the atomization of everything and with like the constant ramping up of like political discourse and back and forth to each other's throat culture stuff, and all of it is just kind of all getting people really to start focusing in like more and more on what's different. And I mean, obviously it ties in with the identity thing as well. That's also doing that. And I think it's really just kind of getting everyone to, yeah, see the trees instead of the forest, if you will. Where it's like, you know, you're seeing all these different individual isolated things, and you're seeing, you know, the world as these like blocks instead of being like a goo that we're all in.
See
or
it
like
all together.
Yeah, man. And I don't know. It's just like, I think everyone's heading in that direction, and it's like, you got to fight that as much as you can. And a more like community based, like traditionalist, conservative, right, whatever you want to call it, would at its core, if it's going to be more community based and more traditional, would be kind of pushing back against that atomization. And so it would be trying to find the core of what is keeping people together. Like, that's what I would think. And so if you want to be like if you're someone who's on the right or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm a fucking traditionalist, right, whatever, then you probably shouldn't be trying to pick fights with people and like ostracize yourself from the other people around you, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think this is also why it's just like, I think like I like read Bronze Age Mindset, you know, and I like enjoyed it, and I like his posting and everything like that. But like the kind of like Nietzschean, you know, kind of like as far like I think that leaning into like Christianity is basically like the direction that's probably the good one to go in for like the right wing. And I think that basically just being people that are like, I just want to be like this like individualistic
Pirate.
Uberman. Yeah, just be this individualistic homosexual Ubermensch pirate is like probably not the best way to go. Especially
it's fucking
because, like,
weird.
Especially because like, I'm sorry, but like pirates aren't men that like build civilization.
Pirates are a scourge to civilization, dude. What are we talking about?
Pirates are scum.
Yeah.
So it's a
Look
fun
at
book.
me. Look at me. That's pirates now, bro. You don't want to be that.
So yeah, man. I mean, I think like, you know, and even then, man, like I encounter people who just really have as much as there's so much just like boomer, like, yeah, man, fucking, you know, like that fucking church that I had to be inside of recently that had like paintings of fucking Kamala Harris and Stacey Abrams. Like that shit's heresy.
God.
Okay. Like
yes.
that's bad. That's bad. Right.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as there's shit like that, like there's also just like a lot of people that like don't understand that like God loves you, and like God also loves people who
that
fucking that make paintings of fucking Stacey Abrams.
And
like, you know what I mean? And like, and like, we need to kind of hang on to this. You know what I mean? And if you think that
dude,
if you think that you know better than that, then like you're a fool. You know? So yeah, and dude, you know, the holidays are just a great example of this, right? The holidays are a great example of this because we're all just kind of doing our best. You know, we're all just kind of doing our best. And
well, if everyone comes into the holidays with their own individual bullshit, like you're saying, like if someone wants it to go exactly their way and everyone wants it all to go that way and you're all coming together, nothing's
I want it to go my own. I want it to be men going their own way. That's where
right, of course.
I want it to go.
Like the holidays are like a good example of you having to set your shit aside to come together as a unit and just enjoy being together. And we're like, you have a common goal of just being together and like not having a miserable time. And so you get through it and it's good. And most of the time, a lot of good comes from it. Like if you can set your bullshit aside. And I think that's like a little microcosm of just kind of what can go with life in general. So yeah, it's a good time to remind you of that. Joy, love, all that shit's going on in this season. You know, it's cold, it's bleak out there, but because of that, we got to cuddle together. You know, there's fires.
Dude, it's hard out here.
PJs. It is hard out here for a pimp, dude. In the cold, working these corners, dude. Imagine being a working woman on the corners in the cold, dude. That's fucked.
Dude, just bring prostitutes to Christmas is what we're saying.
Ooh, Santa's helpers.
Santa's they're elves. They're elves. honestly, as a quick side note too, because this occurred to me a couple minutes ago, and I just remembered, like, we're talking about, because I just have to point this out, and I'm sorry if this gets a couple people here, but I know some folks. I hate that word. I know some folks that moved to Red America after COVID. Okay, and I get it. All right, I get it. I understand. All right, I can understand why you would do that. All right, but I'll say this. All right, and this is humbling. Okay, because this is a limitation of mine. All right, you live in Red America, and I live in Deep Blue America, and like I'm literally not built for where you live. All right, and I don't mean like a rough area or something like that. I just literally mean like I'm used to living in places that that have like fucking lattes and like stupid yuppie bullshit. And like I need to kind of be real with myself and just be like, I'm kind of a pussy in that way. You know what I mean? And like I'm not from that tribe. Okay.
Yeah.
And even if I disagree with the liberal bullshit going on around here, this is literally the culture that like I've had my entire life to socialize me into.
It's still your home, dude. That's like where
It's still my
you came up.
home.
That's where you're rooted to.
It's still my fucking home, right? And so these people, these like blue state right wingers or whatever, who want to fucking like just solve the problem outright and just, oh, it's all going to be okay if I just move to this new place because I won't be an outsider anymore. You are in for a rude awakening because in a much deeper way, you're going to be even more of an outsider.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be a fucking nightmare because now, like, it's the alienation and differences between you guys is going to be like a lot deeper.
And you can't explain it away by being like, well, it's a political divide.
Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, dude, I think that the real pill here is that everyone feels like an outsider a lot of the time. Everyone kind of feels like an alien or something, at least at a certain point in their life. And everyone no one really like fits in. Like these people, these weirdos that are on like, social media, they're doing this like, oh, I'm part of the hive mind now. They're not fitting into anything. And like, none of these people are like, no one's
That's
fitting
why they're
in
saying
really.
it.
Right. So it's like getting caught in this delusion that's like, oh, everyone else is like fit into a thing, and I'm like in this outside. Everyone's in that, dude. So like, where everyone's feeling that kind of all the time. So like, there's no like needing to move somewhere else to get. I'm gonna fit in there. Or I'm gonna fit. You're never really gonna feel maybe like you do fit in. Maybe that might be possible. There might be some doubts or whatever, but like you're gonna find your people wherever you go. A little bit of people, if you look for them hard, you're gonna develop important relationships. If you're not a piece of shit, and like that's what you stick to. You don't need to try to be in the middle of everything, like the nexus of the town. You know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know.
Totally. Well, and also, I mean, like, not to be this guy, not to do the annoying thing, but it's like, it's like a really good way of like having a sense of belonging. Starting a family. You know what I mean? Like that's a good thing to do. You know what's like not a good way of getting a sense of meaning? Like
politics.
Joining a political party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it can be a source of meaning in your life, right? Enacting change and things like that. But like people are using this as like a meat substitute like product for just like having a fucking family, dude. How many people in your average DSA meeting have gone zero contact with their families?
90+%.
Probably a fucking shitload of them, right? And I don't know, man. I'm not into it.
Yeah, it's have a find whatever it is. Like I don't know.
Not to cut you off, but I just remember this too. I mean, honestly, like again, like I know people who are like very right wing who have that outsider position too. I know people blue state right wingers, right? And like part of that too is a similar thing where it's just like there's one particular person I know where it's a lot of like cultural grandstanding about like, oh yeah, family and God and country and all that. And it's like, bro, you fucking hate your family. You fucking hate your family because like 2/3 of them are like libs.
Right.
And it's like, you don't fucking center loving your family in your life. Shame on you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's pretty common. That's pretty common.
I think a lot of people, it's easiest to see like, they pick up personas because it's like to downplay some of the negative things that they identify within themselves. So they'll pick up a persona that kind of is like amplifying the opposite. Because it's easy to see, your own faults in like the other people, easier to see it in other people than in you. So you can be like, oh, all these fucking libs don't care about their family. And then it's like, yeah, but neither do you, obviously, dude. You know what I mean?
Give a shit about your family. You're not inviting people to fucking holidays. Like,
right?
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Yeah. I don't know,
dude. Speaking of holidays, dude, because now we're into it a little bit. We needed nail down. We talked about doing a Christmas movie bonus.
Yeah, so I was talking to the old friggin' ball and chain today.
Oh, the friggin' wife.
My friggin' wife, and I was telling her I want a divorce. No, we were talking about.
I thought y'all didn't believe in that thing, huh?
I know. No, I'll murder her before we get a divorce.
Oh, that's actually kind of base and trad.
No, I'm talking to her and I'm like, we should do like a date night tomorrow, right? And she's like, yeah, for sure, yeah, because that's how she talks. And
that's how all women talk.
Yeah, it's stupid idiot voices. And we're gonna fucking watch one of these gay little Christmas movies. And so I feel like, I mean,
most of them are gay.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
not gay, but like most of them are for broads. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be cutting you off.
My family always watched gay porn for Christmas, so
yeah, we just fire it up.
Yeah, just
everybody get in.
Yeah, but
put your PJs on.
Put your PJs on and butt plugs in, and no, man. The way I was, the impression I was getting, okay, was that that you would dictate one movie and I would dictate another.
I'm into that.
And so we do a double feature here. All right.
Okay. I was thinking more like a little burst, but we can do just two for sure.
Shut the fuck up. No, I'm just kidding. What do you mean, bro? I don't even know where that came from.
I guess burst isn't a real good way to explain it. I was thinking maybe just like it could be a handful, and we can just kind of talk about them a little bit.
Oh, sure.
I'm down to do just two for sure.
Well, how about we just do two?
Okay.
And we do one that I pick and one that you pick. Dude, okay. The problem is like I don't know. I mean, all right. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for a family traditional movie is, and maybe this is I don't know why I'm a little embarrassed by this, but it's like maybe it's Elf. You know,
Elf.
My family dug Elf.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that's something that I didn't get much of when I was a kid. I mean, I saw it a couple times, of course, but it wasn't one that was in my family's traditional.
Well, it's a little more modern, But I think that there's something kind of nice to having a family tradition of like watching a Christmas movie that you all also literally saw in theaters together when it came out.
Yeah, you all share it together,
right?
It's like a one that was started as a family, as like the small family unit, not one that was like passed down from the mom to the kids or the dad or whatever,
Well, right. And so that's what I would put forward.
Okay.
As Elf. A side note, I was kind of tempted to do it, and I guess we don't have to do traditional ones, but as far as like our own personal traditions, but I was a little bit tempted to do It's a Wonderful Life. Because I'll be honest with you, I have not watched It's a Wonderful Life since I was like 4 years old.
Dude, it would always be on like my grandma's TV when we went over there for Christmas, and I had caught like, I don't know, a little bit of it here and there, but I've never seen it start to finish.
I feel like that means we should watch it.
Yeah, I'm down to do that.
But I don't. But this is two movies I'm dictating now.
Well, here's the thing. Well, then we could do that as a third. That could be like the one that we just choose, and then we could both bring one that's like a traditional family movie.
That's true. I love the idea of just like two podcasters doing like a commentary episode for It's a Wonderful Life, and we're just like, dude, we're gonna bring this down a fucking notch, dude. Like, it's over for this American film classic.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, this broad looks nuts in here. You're probably, what is the deal with this broad main character looking crazy? Pull up the IMDb on her. Pull up the early life on this guy.
Bring up this shit, dude.
But yeah, I'm down to do It's a Wonderful Life. One thing I've never seen, even once, is Miracle on 31st. I don't know, the street, but
I've never seen it either.
Really?
Yeah, dude. You know what we should do? We should watch Miracle and It's a Wonderful Life and just say fuck it to the traditional movies.
That's true. Let's do that then. Okay, because those are both kind of. I don't know when Miracle came out, but I feel like it's kind of older as well.
Sure, it's definitely. I feel like it's around the same age. Here, Miracle on. It's 31st, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got film. Isn't it by like John Huston or some shit like that? This is our new George Seaton.
Maybe I know John Denver. I don't know John Houston. It's a different city.
West Virginia. All right, so that's 47, and then it's I feel like It's a Wonderful Life is not as old as 47. Yeah. Oh my gosh, 46.
Whoa. Okay.
Holy smokes! I didn't even
post World War II world order.
I was just. Yeah, dude. Fucking Henry Kissinger's just a wee little lab in it, dude. And Jimmy Stewart comes up and he's like, "Oh, well, when's Kissinger gonna die?"
Yeah, let's do these two. I'm down for that for sure.
Dude, let's fucking do it, dude. It's over
all right for
these hoes, dude.
So I'll put those on the watch list for this week, and we can try to record that sometime next week to put out on the Patreon. So you freeloaders. If you want to hear anything about it, if you want to hear our hot takes on movies from the 40s, then you can sign up on patreon.com/.
Dude, we're gonna rate all of the female actors on the binary.
We could do a wood panel for all the actresses in these like classic films.
We certainly could.
Like, I'm looking at black and white here, but I bet if it was colorized, it'd be pretty nice complexion here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm down to do that. I watched fucking Trading Places the other day.
Dude, Trading Places goes fucking hard, dude. I love Trading Places. Can I just share something really fast about it? Because maybe you hated it. I don't. But just as a quick side note, I watched Trading Places and Dogtooth back to back the day that I broke up, that I got dumped by my ex like years ago. And Dogtooth is a fucking nightmare.
I don't know Dogtooth.
Should I watch it? Maybe one of the worst film recommendations I can give you. Just specifically to like, it's like Euro trash art film shit. And it's like degenerate. It's a great film, but like you would hate it, right?
Sure, yeah.
But I just remember I was like, oh my God, I can't watch Dogtooth because I have this horrible connection to it and all this shit. And I just remember fucking just the legacy and the raw power of Trading Places. Trading Places cannot be brought down by hoes. That movie is untouchable. I watched it again and I was like, I have no negative associations with this film. This is just a joy to watch.
Dude, Dan Aykroyd in full blackface.
Dude, Dan Aykroyd in full fucking blackface and fucking and dude and good and like top of his career Eddie Murphy with the fucking with his fucking little hustle of being a paraplegic.
Mm-hmm.
And like, dude, I love it, dude. What'd you think?
Dude, I think it was like the second time I saw it. I saw it a long time ago. But not like, I was a kid when I saw it. I didn't have the cultural stuff I picked up as
it barely counts.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, dude. This movie is unreal given today's cultural climate. But also
it has a good deal of class consciousness in it, which I know you will appreciate.
Yes, that was what I was going to say. And also it's the classic thing that goes on in movies, I guess in this era kind of a little bit, but of materialist versus like, well, I don't know if it's necessarily materialist, but like nature versus nurture kind of thing.
Well, right, that's
it's like the main thing.
Yeah.
Which is kind of it's a debate that kind of I think goes into like materialist political analysis a little bit as well.
Yeah,
so that was kind of interesting there. And like, yeah, you said it has the class consciousness going on. It's really bizarre. Like the rich people are like crazy, dude. Um,
The two old men.
yeah, dude, and they're just like, oh, let's see what we can do here. Yeah, let's like they're just like having a bet with each other, the usual bet, if you will. Yeah, man, I liked it a good bit. I did not remember or expect or know that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to be in it, and much less that she was going to be like
A whore.
sold as like this whore that's supposed to be like super sexually alluring, I guess, or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I really bought that, but I like Jamie Lee Curtis, Scream Queen. So yeah, I think it's good. I was kind of taken back about Eddie Murphy's character for sure, at least in the beginning. And then I was just wondering, why is it that Eddie Murphy, like, I mean, I guess I know why, maybe the cultural climate, but Eddie Murphy was always casted as the most like crack addict kind of esque character. And he's not really that, like, he doesn't really look that way. You know
Well,
what I
so,
mean?
I mean,
Like,
to be fair, to be fair, right? Because you got to understand, part of the thing that we're doing here is like, dude, Eddie Murphy is like Jerry Seinfeld, right?
yeah.
Where Eddie Murphy, like, by the time we were of age, Eddie Murphy was basically like already done with his career, and he's like a fucking he's like a titan.
Yeah, he's goated.
Just like how like Jerry Seinfeld, it's like Jerry Seinfeld doesn't give a fuck about anything. Jerry Seinfeld isn't working on anything. Like Jerry Seinfeld had like the most popular fucking show ever, and then just went out, right? But the thing with Eddie Murphy is like, yeah, he did when we were growing up. He did a bunch of like family comedies, like Daddy Daycare and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like the shit that actually got him popular was like super irreverent stand up.
Yeah,
right.
Well, the stand up for sure. Yeah,
the stand up's wild, dude. And like, and also just like he had his I forget what the fucking character was, but like on SNL back in the day, he had his like spoof of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but he would just like it would just be like in a crack house.
Oh, okay, nice.
And he would just like steal people's radios and shit like that. And so I don't know. It's just like this guy
I can see that. Okay,
who's like really irreverent and like swearing a bunch, and he's really dark skinned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where I got the Coming to America role for sure.
Well, right.
Like, oh, he looks African.
Right.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, the movie kind of it was just kind of shocking. They say the N word a couple times. Yeah, I was like, whoa.
There's some fights that say the N word a couple times.
Yeah, that was what was shocking. I mean, really bat an eye. You see.
Dude, we were watching The Shining the other night.
Ooh.
And like when they say it a couple times in that, I'm like, oh right.
You're like, oh yeah, different times, yeah.
Yeah, they just like say the N word. That's wild.
That's just what they were doing back then.
I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, you're like, oh, immediate 5-star recommendation.
Yeah. I was like clapping like that GIF of Orson Welles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He probably said the N word a couple times too.
Oh, I'm sure he probably did, dude. I mean, anyone kind of in that era. I mean, who among us?
Yeah.
Fuck. Hey, Jinx.
Hey.
That's nothing, though, I guess. You owe me a soda. You can mail it to me.
Yeah, man. Fucking Trading Places fucking rules. A good one too. If this one's a little bit more of a deep cut, but here I want to make sure I have the name right. Yeah, no, I got the name right. Wait, no, I don't. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, I didn't realize that Kevin Spacey was in this movie. Okay, I personally like it. Maybe it hasn't aged well because apparently, like, IMDb fucking hates this movie. But See No Evil, Hear No Evil with Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder is funny to me. I like this movie, and the whole bit of it is that it's like, I believe it's like, fucking Gene Wilder is blind, and then Richard Pryor is deaf.
Oh yeah.
And so like between the two of them, they're like capable. And yeah, it's like Gene Wilder and fucking blackface, like dressed up like an African king or something. Honestly,
oh yeah.
Honestly, I remember loving this movie and watching it a couple years ago and still liking it. So I feel like the bad reviews are probably more just because, you know, because of woke cancel culture.
Oh, I'm watching it, dude. Richard Pryor?
Dude,
Yeah.
Pryor's a fucking god, dude.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I didn't know about this movie. I definitely gonna check that out. I
Yeah,
guess
no,
they
it's
did a
great.
couple.
It's got the racism, and it's literally just like the two main characters are like cripples. And dude, I love. Okay, first thing, Gene Siskel on Rotten Tomatoes. This dubious concept might have worked if someone had written something funny or for either comic actor to say, "All right, fair enough."
Here's the real juice, though. 89% of Google users like the movie. That's what I usually go off. That's just guys like you and me. You know
dude,
what I
that's
mean?
the
It's
voice
not.
of the people.
Yeah, it's not Movie Bob sitting back taking his fucking, his little
Dude,
letterbox fucking recommendations.
Audience score on Rotten Tomato 72
That's not bad.
versus
Yeah, that's much better than 27. Literally inverse.
Dude,
That's crazy.
Rotten Tomatoes for a second here.
God, what a fucking hell site Rotten Tomatoes is, dude.
I know, it's a fucking nightmare, man. Well, you can't.
The shit they spew on there is worse than you can find on Twitter. Maybe not worse, but it's on par, dude.
Yeah,
I don't usually agree with the Rotten Tomatoes score at all. Like, I usually won't even look at it. The Google score is also ridiculous, too, because, like, really any rating for a movie is just not going to really be a good metric to go by at all, because people just objectively or subjectively consume art. So it's really kind of difficult to say, like, I might love See No Evil. Well, I don't know what that movie was.
See No Evil.
See No. I know I sounded kind of Asian there, dude. I don't know what that was. Please, I see. Eyes too close. See no evil nowhere. I cannot see very well. Oh fuck. Okay.
I apologize to all of our.
We love the Asians, folks.
Yeah, I love the community. Okay, can I just make a point about something here really fast?
Asians or
what's up? Yeah. No. What's up with the whole needing to call everything a fucking community now? Okay. There's not a fucking gay or Asian community. There's a gay and Asian population.
Yeah.
You're not a fucking community. You don't fucking know each other. You're not communing over anything. Okay. Like, there's nothing. You have a thing in common. You have one thing in fucking common. All right.
Yeah, words don't mean anything anymore, dude. People talk about like the Marvel community. You know what I mean? People use it to like Discord communities. None of these are communities.
Consumption habit, you fucking retards. So
yeah.
that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm in the community of dudes who uses MSN as their home screen. So we're all pretty tight, we got all of each other's emails.
And play online poker on your fucking Xbox 360.
Hey, that is community, dude. Me and the boys go in on that, all right?
That's like,
we run tables.
The video game equivalent of fucking renting DVDs from the porn store.
Well, here's something I do. I've never been in one of those, but I do rent DVDs from the Redbox.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I pull up to the local Walgreens. Show me your Redbox.
I've worked at a video store before.
Yeah? Was it like an adult video store, or was it like a regular?
No.
Nice.
I don't want to give too much more information, but I did work at I almost said live in a video store. Well, fucking A, I mean, how much you fucking work throughout the week? Practically living there.
Might as well be.
Might as well, man. But yeah, no, it was fun.
That's my dream. Like having a small little shop where I can just have all my DVDs and like dude, you can kind of rent them if you want.
I would fucking kill myself if I had to work with the fucking general public again, dude.
Oh, dude. I guess
I kind of have to, but like
that's true.
Talking face to face with just like little shit sipping normies that just like feel like you owe them something. I hate it.
No,
I hate it.
You don't have to do that. If you own the shop, you can just be like a grumpy dude that's just got a bunch of DVDs. Like there's a place down the street from me and they've got DVDs and VHSs for sale. And there's just one dude who's like for sure autistic, but they didn't know about it then in that age range. So he's just kind of like a little bit of a grumpy old dude that sticks to himself kind of thing. Sure. And he just kind of sits in the back corner where the checkout is and like he's got one buddy that'll come in, they'll chat about locally, new DVDs that came in or whatever. but like he's not having any conversation. Like you go up to him and it's just you checking out and getting out of there. Maybe he could wreck something to you if you wanted him to, but he's putting off the vibe that's like, don't open up a conversation here. And you can do that. Like if you're in that kind of industry, I feel like, because I don't know about there, but I think most people that are coming into like a used DVD shop probably aren't, the best social talkers in the first place. So they're probably people who are going to be like,
they are indeed not the best social talkers.
Take me for instance,
I'm the best social talker. Nobody socially talks the way that I do.
Fuck. We're trying to make a job out of it, buddy.
That is true. This is dude. These people are sick is the number one social talking themed podcast.
Yeah, we're the best at it, really. So I guess we probably shouldn't own a DVD store because really we'd be kind of out
dude.
Of
we'll own a DVD. We should own a DVD. We should own a movie rental place. We should own a movie rental joint, but just have like canceled racist films.
Whoa. Yeah. Carry like 100 copies of Juno before the broad chopped her tits off.
Dude.
What's that? What's her name?
Ellen Page.
Yeah, Ellen Page. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that I've ever actually said the new name, and I don't know that I ever will.
Oh, that's a dead name.
The Elliot?
Yeah, that's
Elliot
the dead name.
Is the new name.
Elliot's no, that's the dead name. That's not the way I operate.
That's the dead name.
Yeah, the new name's a dead name.
And then people are like, I don't think you're right, and you just start screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. God bless her. Pray for lost
Ellen.
souls.
Pray for Ellen. Both of them. Ellen DeGeneres too. Lord knows she needs some help.
I pray for Ellen DeGeneres. I think I would. I don't know.
Yeah. I know my mom was probably praying for her back in the 90s, dude.
Yeah. Is she getting up to any? She's gay. I know that.
That's the problem. Yeah.
That's getting up to any like paganism or.
Well, she is drinking kids' blood for sure. And she's a real sicko in that way, and like real bad about that. But she also got canceled like 2 years ago or something
because she's mean to shitty, useless interns.
Yeah.
No,
shocking.
You know who's if they were like working in a McDonald's and it was like a black lady on welfare that was screaming at them, that would be less of a problem. But it's Ellen DeGenerate.
Ellen DeGenerate, dude. Yes, bring it back.
I don't want to infuse race hate into this, so I'll calm down about it. But yeah, no.
Dude.
Ellen, honestly, I'm gonna start standing Ellen. I'm gonna start defending.
You're gonna stan Ellen.
We must stan Ellen because she's too easy of a target.
Well, dude, she's also kind of trad, dude. Like the Bull Dyke.
Is she trad?
Bull Dyke is kind of trad, dude.
Well, yeah,
like to where we're at now.
This point, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We got to at least bring back regular lesbians. You know what I mean? Regular Bull Dykes. That's a step in the right direction.
Regular lesbians are the revolutionary subject that we didn't realize we needed, but that we.
That's so true. Put them up against all these new like amalgamation people that are coming around with different parts like a platypus.
Yeah, they're like we were the original gender questioning women to the trannies, and they're like we were the original people that just didn't ever want to have sex to the asexuals.
Yeah, and they're gay, so they're in on that already. Not the original maybe, but
fuck, dude, we're so fucking gay, and we're oddly aggressive to people.
I kind of like that. I kind of get along with lesbians a little bit, like, because there's just like nothing that you know what I mean.
Getting along with lesbians,
you think?
Yeah, because you're a fucking faggot. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
No, I don't know, man. There's like I know a couple people that just are the lesbian whisperers. I almost said worshipers. No, whisperers, and there's just something about it. I think that lesbians generally don't care for me. Honestly, generally, more masculine women. And this includes just kind of like white trash women, just generally don't like me.
Oh, I could see that.
out of the box. I don't know what it is. I think it's my sprightly and effervescent nature.
Yeah.
I don't have a
You got
sprightly nature, but
you got those like kind eyes, you know. I don't think they like
you think
that.
so?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's it.
yeah. I had a white trash friend in high school. I don't really like that word. I feel bad saying
No,
it, but I had kind of a.
but there is that. It's a type
Yeah,
of person. I mean, it's
eh,
not like you don't want to make fun of them, and
it's
they
a
don't want to be the butt
thing.
of all jokes like they are culturally now. But they exist.
I'm not trying to put him in Gitmo, I guess, right?
No, of course not.
And
They're
I'm
people just like us.
yeah. I had one. I had one of these so-called people. There was a friend of mine. I'm kidding. There was a buddy of mine in school, and I remember his mom said that I reminded her of her first husband, and her first
Oh
husband was like,
God,
well, and
that's not good.
statistically speaking, you kind of know what that means. And she was like genuinely horrifically abusive towards me.
Oh
I mean, that's
wow,
not a good word to use, because then it sounds like I like lived there and she like beat me or something.
right?
But she was just like a psychotic little bully woman.
Yeah, she identified you with her fucking ex-husband. That's a big part of it. That's
Exactly,
not
and
good.
you're like a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid, and you're just like, oh, what? And so like, what the fuck am
Oh
I gonna
no.
do about it? You fucking crazy whore. I don't know. But yeah, no. Generally, if you're on the more bull side of the spectrum, of a woman, generally don't like Slav. Generally not a
Hmm.
fan.
Yeah, I
Um,
see that.
you know, but
Well, I mean, I
yeah.
think the only
I've
reason
been
is just
friends
like,
with lesbians though. I was in a band with
yeah.
one.
Oh, that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah,
They're in
so
bands. That's the thing. That's for
yeah, they're
sure
in
a thing.
they're in like folksy looking kind of bands, doing
Yeah.
kind of a gay Stevie Nicks thing going on.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, or making bad punk rock.
Oh,
Um,
definitely a lot of the punk rock.
yeah, yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
there was this one band that came into town recently that was just like, it was like four, and it was all lesbians, and they played punk rock.
For some reason, this is totally an aside. I'm totally interrupting you with it, but for some reason, I just preemptively laughed because I just imagined you saying, "Dude, there's this one band that came into town. They're called like the Rolling Stones or something," and I just thought that was the funniest thing. And you didn't even say it, and I'm just wasting time talking about this.
I think
But
that's funny though.
that would have been funny, anyways.
I don't really care for the Rolling Stones.
My first dance with my friggin' wife was to a Rolling Stones song.
Oh,
I like it, but I don't actually care for them that much either. I think that the Rolling Stones, if I may,
mm-hmm.
here,
Go on. You may.
There's a little something about the Beatles that
Mm,
is, I personally like when they were being a little more covert about the fact that they were doing drugs stuff better.
yes.
I think that early early Beatles stuff, you get to like Revolver, you know, Revolver, Rubber Soul, and you're like, yeah, we're good here. And it's like there's stuff on Magical Mystery Tour that I like and stuff like that, but the earlier stuff where they're like, "Ooh, we're British,"
Yeah.
is like fun, and I like that a
Yeah.
lot. It's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
it's all good. I want to make that clear. It's all good, but like that stuff in particular, that is 1,000 times more the case for the Rolling Stones. Like the first couple of albums, like Between the Buttons, Black and Blue, shit like that, a lot better. A lot better. And again, it's because like they're a lot more grounded. And so they're not just doing the thing where they're like, hey, like fucking
Yeah.
like, oh, they're like proto wiggers,
Yeah.
right? Like Mick Jagger is a proto wigger, and he's just doing the like bluesy fucking and like I don't really like that. I straight up dislike that stuff.
Yeah.
But like when it's a little bit more of just the like, oh, we're like needing to make British pop rock music back in the day, which you would think isn't good, ends up actually being better than just
Yeah.
these fucking British proto wiggers. That's my take on the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, I just don't need all this British shit over here doing like they're taking essentially it's just British people. It's kind of like you're saying like the British pop, you're like or like British kind of like alt pop kind of stuff they're doing, whatever. It's like okay, that's kind of cool, like weird, like. But then they come over here and they're like they learn about jazz and blues, and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna try to like yeah, just try to impersonate blues essentially, and but just do it, and then they're English and everyone loves it because they're from Brit. I don't know. I don't need a Britain bullshit. American music is good. We don't need the British rock stars coming over with their bullshit and their John Lennon and their bullshit. Yeah,
dude, we don't need their John Lennon Imagine.
Yeah, we don't need that, dude. And I got Gal Gadot later on singing that shit. That's what he started.
COH just standing here, just waving his copy of Catcher in the Rye around, just like we don't need him. All right, and I say we do something about it.
Good riddance. Yeah.
Good fucking riddance.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing on the Beatles. He still is
probably
too.
like the most talented Beatle besides George Harrison. But yeah, I mean, are you like one of these fucking degenerates that's like anti the Beatles?
I'm not like I just never was of them. Like, there's nothing that they've really ever done for me. Like,
dude,
I'm not.
I feel like you've got like a good couple of months in the future ahead of you where you're gonna like something's gonna click. Maybe I could be wrong.
I don't know. I've listened to a good bit of the Beatles. I just like I don't like because I was like I had a girlfriend in high school and she like loved the Beatles and her family was like about the Beatles and I was like okay, I'll get into.
Well, this is what did it. This dumb ruined the Beatles for you.
Her family was great. I mean, she maybe not the greatest, but her family was fine, and no negative associations with the Beatles because of that. But I just listened to a lot of it in that time, and just like, just didn't. Nothing really clicked with me. I don't know.
Beatles?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe my problem with it. There's like, we like goofy music and it's kind of goofy and we're doing drugs and it's psychedelic and you're like,
we've made a funny concept album about a submarine. Isn't that funny? COH, isn't that funny?
Okay, as a quick side note, I mean, whatever, right? Like, you're wrong about the Beatles. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine, God bless them.
I think I just want a little bit more edge. I think I just like a little bit edgier music, I think is what it is.
Dude,
really.
They have some edge, dude. What are you... Oh, my gosh, man.
I don't know, like, just a little bit, like, I don't know.
They got songs about fucking doing heroin and shit, dude.
All right, well, I'll listen to him again. Maybe I'll vibe with the heroin songs.
It's all right. I'm being intolerant. But listen. You should. What the fuck was I about to say? God damn it!
You said that there'll be a couple months where things are clicking. Me liking the Beatles.
Yeah. Well, and that's fine. I mean, whatever. You know what I was gonna say? Fuck. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say that Peter Jackson's movie studio put out the music video now to the what is being said is the final Beatles song.
Oh, I did hear about that.
You need to watch this video because it's a fucking nightmare. And like, I think that it's demonic, right? Like, I think that we need to let dead people remain dead. And
oh God, are they doing some sort of necromancy?
Yeah, it's a necromantic
digital.
Yes, it's a necromantic video, and so basically, okay. So the thing about Peter Jackson, you might know this, is that he's got basically like the biggest special effects studio on the planet Earth. Right?
Oh, okay.
And so, after Lord of the Rings, it was just like it's like a thing. It's like a big thing. Right? It's a huge resource and it's amazing. It's like the top of technology there, right? All right. So they use him for this, and I think that there's like just a really interesting lesson here because they use him for this. And they do this video where it's like Ringo and fucking Paul, which like, we're really blessed to have Ringo and Paul be the two still around, are like performing with like adapted old footage of George and John in the studio. And so it's like they're all together performing one last time. And like the song's not particularly good. And
Sure.
and really probably the main thing with it is that if it was produced several decades ago, it might have been a lot better. But it just has this like, I don't know anything about music production, so I can't speak to it. But like, it just, everything feels like too much, I guess. Like it's too crisp. Like, you know what it is? This is the best way I can describe it. Is it feels like the audio equivalent of when you go into a Best Buy and you look at their televisions and they just have these like hyper sharpened, hyper colorful stock footage of like nature. Mm-hmm. And you're like, this is impressive in a really technological sense, I guess. But like this hurts me to look at.
Yeah.
And like, why the fuck would I want to like enjoy this in my home? Right?
Yeah, the saturation is too much.
No, exactly, right? And it's like it's too much. It sounds like whatever that looks like.
I see that, yeah.
And it's a nightmare. And but the big thing is there's a lesson to be learned in just the fact that like the closest chance that we have on planet Earth right now of someone being able to actually pull off doing whatever the fuck this necromancy thing is, the fact that doesn't work should be taken as a lesson that like there's just something fundamentally wrong with it. Because it looks horrible.
The closest was probably the fucking Parkland shooter virtual, like the student that they brought back to life virtually to making like a pro gun control commercial. Do you remember that?
Oh, right.
That was like the closest that we've gotten to it, actually.
Which, as a quick side note, I just want to, because I'm just curious about this. I'm sending you a link to this. All right, it has 35 million views, and it was released a month ago. And the GTA 6 trailer came out 2 days ago, and it has 114 million views. All right, just something I'm curious about. All right, hold on really fast. So I'm sending you the link. I don't want to be too bad about this or whatever, but that wasn't a send message button. That was like a help me button. Okay, did I send you the right link?
Let me see. I'll pull it up.
So just skip around because it's horrible.
All right, I see it. Oh,
there's like a shame on you aspect to this, and okay, keep in mind, like I haven't really given this song its full due, but like get to oh my god, it looks so bad. Get to like skip to like a.
I've seen an image of John Lennon staring off into like, you know that meme where it's like the guy is it's like staring off into the sunset.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's John Lennon staring at just like young versions of them singing.
So jump to a minute and 50 seconds.
Oh, here's Paul. Holy fuck. Okay, let's see.
Just a minute and 50 seconds.
A minute 50.
And just you can even just pause it there.
Oh, whoa, no. I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay, this is the best that technology can do. Okay, look at the contrast. Okay, first of all, what's going on with Ringo in general? But look at the contrast between Ringo and the room he's standing in.
Yeah, dude, what the hell?
Also, it looks like Ringo looks like he's being filmed in like fucking Inland Empire. Like this is fucking David Lynch filming him
for real,
on a fucking camcorder in like 2009.
Yeah.
What is going on? Also, I literally think that footage of John Lennon in that studio looks to mesh better than the fucking footage of Ringo.
For real. I don't even know what that is, dude. I guess the microphone in front of Ringo is like it's not right. Like it's like, I don't know if it's too big or if it's just not like It's blurry. Everything about it's just weird. Yeah, I don't care for this at all.
Also,
and
honestly,
right now,
this footage of George Harrison in his old age actually just makes me really sad to watch.
Yeah,
because he's just a sad guy in general. But this looks like a fucking Zoom call.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking COVID benefit that they were doing in the early stages of the lockdown.
Dude, skip to 251.
Dude, I have it paused on 150 exactly, and the face that fucking John Lennon is making is unreal. It's disturbing. All right, 251.
He looks like an Instagram filter, dude.
Yeah, dude, what the hell? Okay, 251.
I mean, now that I'm looking at it, it's like maybe they are going for... Like, maybe they are going for a certain level of schlock. I just, I don't...
It's gotta be, dude.
I don't understand. But it's weird enough. It's enough on the line where it's I don't know. Is Peter Jackson just senile?
I feel like I could have made this in my 9th grade fucking Photoshop class, virtual arts, graphic arts class, because it does not. I mean, it's not. I don't know. It's not believable. First of all, I mean, obviously it's not meant to be because the ages are way different. You know, they're dead and everything, but it's just it's corny. I don't know.
It's not even just corny. It's like a fucking nightmare, dude. This
yeah,
is
I don't.
This is Skinwalker shit, dude.
I don't like it at all.
I'm turning it off now. Shame on them.
Yeah, I don't care for that. Oh no, hell no. Now I'm seeing a fake AI John Lennon. I scrolled down the tiniest bit and they're showing me shorts that they want me to watch next, and one of them's just cartoon AI John Lennon. Looks like it's from GTA 6, maybe. Oh god, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, get out of there, man. Get out of there. Get out of there.
I mean, let's wrap it up maybe real quick. Quick little. We're looking at necromancy horror videos.
The Beatles video.
Yeah, what's going on?
I like to think that was a watch along with the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I hope everyone else looked it up.
I do and I don't.
Well, yeah, don't look it up, actually. Well, if you did look it up already, you know what we're talking about. We're all in it together.
Listen, honestly, if you watched it tonight, just do a decade of a rosary at least. And, just say a couple Hail Marys. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we can wrap it up. We're going to watch Miracle on 31st Street and It's a Wonderful Life. And we're going to chop it up about it. And we're going to fucking deconstruct. We're going to queer these films. We're going to look at them from a postmodern deconstructuralist point of view. We're going to queer them.
We're going to make them gay.
I'm going to imagine what it would be like if there was kind of a remake in an Eddie Murphy style, except all the characters are played by an AI generated George Floyd.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. Just to let you know where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it.
George Floyd, George Bailey.
We're gonna Floyd it up. We're gonna Floyd this film.
Dude, I can't wait to make these people gay.
Yeah, we're gonna make them all gay. We're gonna make them all gay George Floyds, and yeah. Bam, 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 bam. You didn't put the voiceover in yet, though, did you?
These people are sick. Individual. These people
my dog's pissed now.
These people are sick. They are sick, and you better get used to hearing it. These people are sick.
Boom.